All right, men, welcome to today's episode of Strong Men, Strong Marriages. My name is Mike Frazier, MD, and here we help high achieving men save their marriage. So today we're talking about how to think about sex. So I know you think about sex a lot already, but how to think about it in a way that's actually going to help you have more enjoyable, more connected, and just more sex with your wife. So here's how a lot of husbands think about sex. Really, that it's something to be earned. The more that I work with guys, the more I see this come up. Um, they feel like you have to do certain things and then she'll be ready for sex. So like do enough chores and then she'll be in the mood to have sex. So go around, clean the house, take care of the kids, do the laundry, cook the food. Okay. Do the other love languages, give her gifts, surprise her with something, give her quality time, plan a date night together, touch her through the day. Although some guys misinterpret that and they just like go and touch their wife's breasts or, grab their butt or grab their crotch or whatever. And that doesn't really work. Um, or, give words of affirmation, tell her how great she is and compliment her during the day. Right. But underlying all this, you're doing all these things, but the reason why you're doing it is because you're thinking, okay, like once I do enough chores, once the house is clean enough, once I took care of the kids enough times, you know, once I cooked enough meals, okay, then she's going to be in the mood. Then she's going to jump into bed with me. Or, once I get her enough gifts or spend enough time with her or say enough nice things to her, that'll kind of finally tip that scale. It'll, you'll do that last necessary bit of saying something nice, and then she's going to suddenly, be in the mood to have sex with you, and she'll want to. So the problem is, right, you do all these things. So you're cleaning the house, you're taking care of the kids, you're doing the laundry, you're cooking the food, and then you expect sex. Either you approach it directly, okay, and not very romantically. So you'll come up to her, so you do all these things during the day, and then you come at night, and you're like, okay, do you want to have sex? Okay. Or you don't even ask, right? And you just kind of expect it without even asking at all, right? You get into bed at night and you're just kind of waiting and hopeful that, it can turn into sex. Or maybe you reach over and start, touching her sexually. And then when she turns you down, you're upset because you feel like, well, I did all these things and that should have been enough now that you should have sex with me, right? So you're disappointed, right? And you're angry. So when she turns you down, okay. And also, maybe she says thank you and maybe she doesn't. Because so you're doing all these things and you're like, man, I didn't even get appreciation for this. What the heck? And she won't have sex with me. What a ripoff. I don't even want to help at all anymore. Okay. So she's not really excited to have sex with you, even though you did all this stuff, right? So you're thinking to yourself, man, didn't I do enough to earn having sex with you? Didn't I do enough chores? Didn't I do enough love language stuff? Okay, that's the way you're thinking about it now. So another way that, and the reason, guys, this doesn't work, right, is you're thinking about it in a way of it's like transactional, right? You're thinking, okay, I did all these things and now, I've kind of purchased it, right? I've bought it. I've earned it. Okay. That's a sense of obligation. Okay. Feel like, and your wife has a couple of options here. She can either kind of give into that obligation. Yeah, I guess you did it a lot. And yeah, let's go ahead and have sex. Or she can feel upset by that. You did all this just to have sex. Forget it, man. We're not doing it. Okay. That obligation, it is not attractive. It's not a turn on for her. So when you're approaching it in this way, it's approaching it in this obligation transactional way. And at a very, more crude level, it's kind of treating her like a prostitute, right? You're kind of saying, well, I earned it. Basically, I bought it, right? I bought sex by doing all these nice things for you. Not a turn on, guys. So another place where guys can get kind of hung up on is women. A lot of times they say, if I can just stop worrying about things so much, if I can just clear my mind out, and this goes to with cleaning and other stuff, then, look, probably I'll be more in the mood for sex. And women do say this, right? My wife said this to me recently. Okay. So you become that like human Xanax, right? That human anti-anxiety medicine. You're trying to remove as much of her stress as possible. Okay. So your thought is, if she's not worried, then she's going to have sex with me. So let's make her not worried, right? So again, I fell into this recently. So my wife told me that if the house was more clean, if I cleaned the house enough, then she would probably be more in the mood for sex. Okay. So I clean like crazy, right? I'm grabbing the kids, we're going around. The house is totally picked up. Even I hired a cleaner, right? The house looks great. And she was grateful and she was less stressed. And so, because the house is clean like that, I approached her in this more transactional, not romantic way. Okay, time to have sex now. The house is clean, right? Or I would just kind of not say anything and just hope it would happen. Okay. And so I got turned down, right? And so I got frustrated. I got angry, right? Because I was looking at this again in this transactional way, right? Okay, I removed all your stress. Now you should have sex. Okay. And again, frustration, anger, those are not attractive emotional states to be in. Okay. Or being like, okay, you owe it to me now, feeling entitled to sex, also not attractive. Okay. So again, why all these don't work, you're approaching sex in this transactional way. Okay. If I do this for you, then you will have sex with me, right? Whether she knows it or not, that's kind of what your deal is, or at least how you're thinking the deal is. And she may even have said something like this, right? That, like, well, if I'm less stressed, then probably I'll be more in the mood for sex. Okay, we'll get into how to understand that in a minute. And so you're like, well, look, you told me, right? You told me if I did this, you would have sex with me more. And then she'll clarify it for you and be like, well, no, I just said I might be more in the mood for it. You're like, well, what's the difference? Because I think for us as men, sex is on our mind a decent amount, and so we figure, well, if we sort of uncover that for her, then she'll just be like ready to go. It doesn't quite work like that. We'll get into it, but the thing is, when you're doing these nice things, right? When you're cooking, cleaning, and doing the house, doing whatever to make her less anxious, doing the love languages, but it's all with this intention that she'll have sex with you or appreciate you, right? Your wife can sense that, she knows it. Okay. That's the mosquito mode. You're doing these nice things, but you're buzzing around trying to suck off attention, appreciation, and affection from her and sex from her. And look, she might give in to you sometimes. She might be like, oh, fine. Yeah, you did do a lot. So I guess we can have sex, right? But that obligation sex, it's not really what you want, right? It's not the passionate, connected sex that you want. Okay. Again, it's that obligation, like she owes it to you. Okay. And you're treating it that way, like she owes it to you. Look, I did all this. And so look, or look, we're married. One thing guys will sometimes say is, well, if you want to have sex with me, I'll find it somewhere else. Okay. That's really not attractive. That's ultimate like obligation mode. Well, you owe this to me. So if you don't give it to me, I'm going to go get it somewhere else. Okay. And they do it, right? They go have an affair, they go look at pornography or whatever. But it all comes down to the same thinking. The thought is, you owe me sex because we're married. That's what's not attractive. Um, so either you think it's owed to you just because you're married and that's it, or you think it's owed to you because, well, look, I've done all this stuff and so now I deserve it, right, for all the things that I did. So this owing, this obligation, this entitlement, right? It's a killer for passionate feelings. You're not going to see this approach in a romantic movie. You're not going to see, you may see a guy in a romantic movie like cook or clean or do stuff like that, but you won't see it like, okay, well, I did that and now you owe it to me, right? That's not the thought process. So again, in some ways, it's treating her like a prostitute. If your wife has any kind of sexual trauma, right, this is going to really flare up for her. If you're like, well, look, I did all this, and now look, you owe it to me. Okay, you're trying to buy sex through service or through other love languages, right? Not necessarily through money, okay, but trying to buy it, right? Trying to purchase it, thinking, well, if I do enough, then she'll have sex with me. Again, you're treating that like a transaction, like you're buying it through what you're doing. And it's not attractive and it doesn't work. Okay. You know this because you've been trying it. It doesn't work. So here's how to think about sex instead. So you've heard me talk about this before if you've been listening for a while. The personal sexuality statement. It's like your sexuality is a part of you. And part of the strongman system, part of what I really believe and teach is we want to just decide how we want to live our lives. And our sexuality is a big part of who we are. So we want to decide, okay, like I have my sexuality, how do I want to use it? So for me personally, I want to use my sexuality to connect deeply with and have fun with my wife. Okay. So that sounds good. And like it is a good way to approach sex. But what I realized recently is that I didn't have to wait until we were having sex to connect deeply with and have fun with my wife. Like I could do that all day long. Okay. I could connect with her and I could have fun with her and I could flirt with her, right? I could do that. This was the revelation for me. And this is why I wanted to share with you guys. That's why I did this podcast today. So it was a real breakthrough for me, right? I didn't have to wait to connect and have fun with my wife until we were having sex, right? I wanted to connect and have fun with her all day, right? So I was just thinking in this way on a date night my wife and I had just recently. So I thought, well, what do I want to do with my wife? I want to connect with her. I want to have fun with her. So let's do it, right? So we go on the date. We're walking around. I'm telling her just a lot of things that I'm thinking about and feeling. She gave me some really great insight and like really meaningful things, that she said to me, how much she believed in me, and just felt really good to connect with her in that way. I shared with her, I listened to her and what she was worried about. It was great. We had a great connection, you know. And then on top of that, we were laughing, we were joking, we were having fun. We watched a fun movie, we flirted, we hugged, we kissed, right? We did all of that. Okay. So in other words, like throughout the date, we were connecting and we were having fun, right? We were flirting. There was that sexual energy between us, okay, through the whole date. And then that naturally led to physical intimacy later on, okay? But here's the thing, right? Even if it hadn't, okay, it was still a great date night because we did connect and we did have fun, right? Turns out, right, those things are what actually get her in the mood for sex, right? Feeling connected, flirting, having fun, you know, doing those um, doing those things that bring up those feelings. So like getting rid of the anxiety, that's good, right? It opens up the ability to connect more and have more fun. Okay. But just getting rid of the anxiety by itself is not enough, right? You want to create connection and fun and flirting. Okay. So here's what you need to do, right? You need to decide how you want to use your sexuality. And maybe that's like mine, right? To connect and have fun with your wife. I recommend it if you don't have one right now. This is a good one to start with. So then instead of just waiting to do that when you're having sex, do that all day long. Connect with her, have fun with her, flirt with her, tell her what's going on with you, what you're thinking and feeling about. Ask her, what are you thinking about? What are you feeling about? What are you worried about? What are your hopes, dreams, fears? Okay. And then listen to her deeply about what she's thinking, feeling, what she's up to, what she's worried about, what she's excited for. Okay. Connect, understand her. On top of that, joke with her, flirt with her, have challenges, do fun things together. Okay. If you go to the podcast How to Flirt with Your Wife for some more ideas on specific things you can do for flirting. Okay. So kiss her, hold her hand, right? Give her a hug through the day. Okay. Tell her what you appreciate about her, right? Connect, have fun with her. So here's why it works, right? Before, what you were trying to do was to earn sex. Okay. You were trying to earn it by doing all these service things, trying to make her less stressed. Okay. What that creates though is obligation. Okay. It's like, okay, I did enough. Now you owe me. Okay. You're trying to create obligation. You're trying to like build up a debt, right? That look, I've done this for you. Now it's your turn to do something for me. Okay. So that obligation, it is not a turn on for her. It just isn't. Okay. You're already trying it. It doesn't work. So now instead of creating obligation, what you're creating is connection, fun, and flirting. And those things are a turn on. Okay. So look, you still want to serve your wife. You still want to help her with anxiety. You still want to be a partner around the house because that's who you want to be as a man, right? And those are attractive things to do. Okay. As long as you're doing them not in this obligation sense, right? Trying to earn sex, but doing these things because, look, I want to be that kind of husband. Okay. And on top of that, I want to have a good sexual relationship with you. Okay. So again, those two things, we're equating them when they aren't necessarily equal. Okay. It's not necessarily equal that if you are basically a servant around the house, that will make your wife sexually attracted to you. Okay. That's important. being a good partner around the house. But what you have to add to that is being able to connect and have fun and flirt with her and create that sexual energy. Okay. They're two separate things. When you are able to, when you are that good husband, right, that good helper, that good partner around the house, look, she is going to be more attracted to you. It is a good thing. But you have to add to that these other things, right? So again, it makes her much more open to being turned on when you are helpful around the house. Okay. But just understand, being less stressed by itself doesn't necessarily turn your wife on. Okay. Creating that connection, fun, and flirting, that's what does it. Okay. So another way to think about this, being a good, helpful, partner at home, husband, that's like taking the brakes off of her sex drive. Okay. So the brakes are off, but it's not going anywhere. Right. So then when you add connection, fun, and flirting, that's like pushing on the gas. Okay. Now you're going somewhere. Now you're going towards a good sex life. Okay. So you need both. You want to take the brakes off and you want to push on the gas. All right. So to do this, the skills you need, right? You need to be able to communicate well. You need to understand her at a deep level. You need to express yourself clearly. You need to be open to all that. You need to be able to have fun and flirt and create that passion and connection. You need your own emotional management, right? So that you can express yourself, so that she's expressing herself to you, you know how to listen. You're not getting all worked up or riled up. Okay. A lot of times, guys, when you have a conflict and you approach it in a way that is emotionally mature, when you can work through something that's difficult with money, sex, in-laws, parenting, religion, housework, right? When you can get to that win-win, that is actually very attractive and arousing for both of you, right? You feel connected after you work through a difficult thing. But to work through it, you have to have communication and emotional management to get through it. You need to have a clear vision of who you want to be as a man, right? So if you're cleaning the house, it's not because you want to create a debt for her that she owes you sex. It's because you want to be a partner around the house, right? You take the kids because you want to be a good dad and create good memories with them, not because you want to, win some brownie points with your wife so she'll have sex with you. Okay. Again, you got to be who you want to be. So if you want to take this to the next level, right, and you want to really build up your spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, and sexual strength, okay, become the strongest, most attractive version of yourself, you're going to learn all of this in the Strongman system. Okay. Today, it's the last day to get all the bonuses that I'm offering right now. So that includes unlimited questions and answers with me during the 30 days of the program, mentorships. You can contact guys who have been through the program and can, maybe been in a similar situation to you. You get lifetime access to the program, okay, if you sign up today, okay? And you also get one-on-one office hours with me. During those 30 days, you can jump in, you can ask me questions, we can role play. If your wife wants to join with you in that, you can. Okay, huge, guys. So that program is $2,500. Today is the last day to get all those bonuses. So head over to mikefraziermd.com, click on work with me. Okay, so you enter your email, it'll take you through a training, which you can watch if you want, or if you're just ready to go, just click enroll now, and you'll be taken to the page to sign up. Jump in right now. You can sign up for office hours right away. You get the program right away. Okay, you can ask questions right away as soon as you enroll. So head over again to mikefraziermd.com, and I will see you there. Click on work with me, enter your email, click enroll now. That's how we'll get going. All right, so visit mikefraziermd.com. We'll see you there. All right, stay strong, men. We will see you next episode and hopefully inside the Strongman system.